box, we have a live counter ticking up, so he should now be live, which of course means welcome back to the Storytime network. We are being attacked by something that I can't see because I'm not clicked onto the screen, by some demons. They're now running away like the cowards they are. Ow. Right. So, we are playing Dragon Age Inquisition, if you couldn't already tell.
You'd think the demons would be nicer than to, you know, attack when your back is turned.
Yeah, I was doing an intro. How dare they? I made a new sword, or dagger, for us. It's pretty good.
Nice.
We've got an edgy dagger grip as well.
Dope.
Anyway, Fuzzy, you said you had a rant. The floor is yours.
Okay, so, as we all know, I have a certain fondness for wholesome Korean romance novels.
Yeah?
Yep.
I specifically avoid the smutty ones because those have even more problematic tropes than the non-smutty ones.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally.
But I've noticed something, and this has led me to go on a grand journey of meta-analysis, which has made my troubling findings even more apparent.
So I hear you're kind of the black sheep in your family.
And it is this.
Where does that saying come
The
from?
general format of these wholesome
Family could be described
Korean
I'm just saying.
romance novels
Something in common.
often has the protagonists start as children, and they have, like, adorable shenanigans as children, and the love interest is usually just a small little potato of a boy
Mm-hmm.
who is adorable.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the time skip where they're grown up, and suddenly the love interest is 6'9", 420 pounds of pure muscle, negative
Nice.
4% body fat. And I'm just like, why does it have to be every single one?
Yeah, not everybody can be a 6-foot-something brick shit house.
Yeah, and I looked
Aha.
through it, and obviously this is just it seems like it's a Korean cultural thing, because they're just like, it's just a thing, and every single Korean romance novel, without exception, is the male protagonist is 4'9", or 6'9", 420 pounds of pure muscle.
4'9" would be quite interesting, to be fair.
Yes, that's what I was getting to that. But then I realized, hang on a minute, let's take a look at some of the other media. So I looked at some of the Chinese media, and I was like, they have very pretty faces, but they're also, once they take their shirts off, built like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson if he got even more jacked. And then
I don't think that's
Japanese
possible.
media.
I don't think that's possible. The Rock at the moment seems like the epitome of Tien in TFS Cell Saga.
Yeah.
The doctor
Clearly,
said,
you have not
The doctor said if your shoulders
read
get any
Baki.
bigger, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, you have not read Baki. But, and it's just like, even in, the only exception I found is in trashy isekai, where the protagonist is distinctly average, but even then, they take their shirt off and they've got a six-pack.
Of
So I'm
course,
just
you
like,
can't work without a six-pack, I guess.
so, here's my question. Where are all the twinks?
Gang,
Like,
I'm pretty sure
why
all the twinks are,
why is it that we as a society have just spontaneously decided that the only option for male protagonist is the hunk?
because apparently all the twinks got got stolen away into all the BL stuff, I guess.
No! Because even in BL, they are
Or-
absolutely shredded.
Huh.
Not in the
Weird.
BLs.
Yeah.
Not in the BLs I've been, or I've
Look.
watched.
In the general audience BL, as opposed to the enthusiast stuff. And I
I
just,
don't
like,
know.
it's been...
Given and Sasuke and Miyano, like those characters are not ripped.
Yes, but that's, like,
Same with
also...
Miyano probably is a twink.
Look, Japan has a bit of a different relationship with this stuff. So I can understand there being more exceptions in Japan.
Yeah.
But I still maintain... I mean, Bara is still one of the most popular genres.
Yeah, but that's because it's Bara.
But, like, you get where I'm coming from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I absolutely
Like,
do, and it's it's a
society-
wider conversation on male body standards.
Exactly! Because it's just like, why can we not have, like, a wholesome romance novel in which the protagonist as a child, or the love interest as a child, is just an adorable potato, and when they grow up into a slightly larger adorable potato.
I mean, to be fair, like I'm fairly sure, like I've seen like artwork for a lot of this Korean and Chinese stuff. I don't really like that art style in general.
Well, see, I'm not really interested in the art style simply because I usually read it in novel form as opposed to...
Oh, so you just put out the descriptions then.
Yes, and the description generally tends to be, this protagonist... Like, I was reading a non-romance novel the other day, and its 12-year-old protagonist was, in fact, 6'9", 420 pounds of pure muscle.
Joseph Joestar, not Joseph, Jonathan, sorry. Jonathan Joestar.
Yes, that is actually... my mind immediately went to that. Because, like, why? Why would you do this?
Because in his early career, Araki really liked drawing all of his men as brick shit houses.
Well, no, Araki is blameless in this.
Is he?
Yes, because he did actually... He's been trending towards twink as his art style went on. Look at Part 3 Jotaro and look at Part 7 Jotaro, or Part 6 Jotaro, and tell me
aged
that man hasn't...
backwards.
Huh? He does... Yes!
You think he'd aged backwards, yeah.
And then you get to, like, Part 8, and the protagonist is a glorious twink himbo.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I feel that Araki has in fact seen the light and has been progressing in the opposite direction. So it's just like, it's very frustrating to me because it's just like I get it, but when you think about it, there seems to be just as much of a lack of diversity in male body types as there is in female body types. Maybe not as egregious because, institutionalized sexism. But it is definitely like the homogeneity is there. And homogeneity is never fun.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's my rant. Thoughts?
I mean, again, as we were saying, it comes into fucking body standards.
Mm-hmm.
There is a distinct and that is not that much better, and it took a while to gather that shit. Oh well. There is a certain belief that to be a, cool and good-looking guy, you've got to be, ripped, tall, and incredibly handsome.
Mm-hmm. Which, not a lot of people, not everyone agrees with that as an assessment. In fact, quite a few people disagree. Also, goddamn. Sorry, I'm looking at something else. Excuse me. But yeah, now all the body standard stuff is just so frustrating. So you're flipping a coin to see who you're taking for your rogue?
And warrior.
Yeah.
Sandra and Cole.
Nice, variety.
No, forgot to add Dorian.
How did you forget Dorian?
Because I did, okay? Things happen.
Yeah. But yeah, are you guys familiar with the Writers Guild strike?
I mean, yeah.
I'm not familiar with the details.
Basically they went on strike today, and there's a lot of Adam Conover actually tweeted out the details of what the Writers Guild's demands were, and the fact that the other side of that negotiation had rejected or severely downsized basically everything that they'd put forward as demands. And all of the rejections did not come with counteroffers.
Isn't a lot of it to do with, like, streaming
A lot of it's
service
just-
rights?
Yeah, a lot of streaming services, a lot of it's proper compensation for actually working. I think you need to level up Cole and Cassandra.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
But yeah, and one of the stipulations is, no AI usage on scripts. Please do not. Thank you very much. Guess what the counteroffer was?
Is that AI is like just not good at scripts or writing in general,
the
and I
po-
don't understand
Just
people.
straight up plagiarizes shit off the internet.
I don't
point-
understand people's obsession with it.
No. The point is, what they don't want to happen is they get AIs to write the script, and then they pay the writers like pennies to rewrite it into something
Proofread it, yeah.
worthwhile.
Yeah.
That's
Which
what
is,
I saw.
idiotic.
Which they would absolutely do.
Oh yeah, no.
And
100%.
they would say, oh, we don't have to pay you as much as when you were writing the full script because you're just, revising it. It's not as much work, even though it probably will be as much work because, as we've said, AI can't write for shit. Despite the fact that people are trying to hand essays in written by AI. Very bad essays that generally start with, I am a language AI. I can't help you with this.
Like, they can't even clean up their shit to make sure it looks legible.
I mean, the one where, like, it didn't even write the essay. It said, I can't write this essay, so instead I'll just give you an outline, and then it did the outline, and the dude handed it in.
What a fucking idiot.
It's just like,
I sometimes forget that human stupidity is truly limitless.
Like, just fucking read it, for fuck's sake.
When we as a society decide that reading wasn't cool?
I'm pretty sure it has its origins in the anti-intellectual movement that took root in America sometime in the past 40, 50 years.
Yeah, it's funny how a lot of, like, people talk about the whole it's easier to manipulate the uneducated masses without realizing that's just something that's already been put into practice for, like, literal almost half a century now.
I mean, it was put into practice long before then. What with, feudalism and shit.
I mean, that's sort of the basis of the
in the
church's
modern
thing.
era. Like, people, like, a lot of the time, people seem to talk about it as if it's an issue removed from the modern era.
No, it's not. It's really not.
Like, as if it's a purely historical thing, and it's just like... No, that's just kind of...
Yeah. As with a lot of things, at least in America, this can be blamed in no small part on Nixon and Reagan.
Yeah.
look around.
AKA the progenitors of 90% of evil in modern America. I'm not wrong.
I mean, I wouldn't go that high. Not because they weren't evil, I'm just saying that there was a lot of shit in America even before they got there.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. But they are the root of a lot of modern issues in America.
Uh-oh.
Like, a lot of issues with the way the country currently is come down to the Southern strategy and the war on drugs. As well as a lot of Reagan's other fuck-ups and pet programs. War on drugs and Southern strategy were all Nixon, though. Oh, you come down with something too, huh, Fuzzy?
Oh, I'm like at the tail end of it, actually.
Same here.
I believe, when was the stream? Last Thursday was when it sort of started. Now I have just a persistent cough. It's not
I'm about in the same boat. I started coming down with it last Tuesday, and I'm seeing the other side of it now. Just have a cough that's fortunately gotten most of it out of my system.
Meanwhile, I was in a boat today.
Oh no.
No, it's a good thing. Parents and our neighbor bought a boat. Took it out onto the water for the first time today.
Fun.
Did you look for the Loch Ness Monster?
We're not actually by Loch Ness, so no.
Can't you just, like, go to there from any body of water? I thought that was how Scotland worked.
No. Especially not with, you know, the amount of fuel we had. Just not a huge amount.
See, that would terrify me. Like, knowingly going out with, like, not a full tank of gas or just, like, extra fuel in, like, a boat especially, but even in a car, really, because it's just, like, the idea of being stranded because you've run out of fuel, regardless of the vehicle, just fills me with existential dread.
I get it. And you aren't entirely wrong. But part of it was that my brother is up, so we did want to try and take it out today while he was still here. And it was fine in the end, even if I'm not entirely sure if the fuel gauge even works. That was slightly worrying upon realizing that, but, you know, again, we were fine.
Yeah, back on the writer's strike. Y'all know when the last writer's strike was, right? Last big one.
The last
Was it
really big one
before
was...
COVID?
It was 2007, 2008,
Yeah.
I think.
That was the really big one. I know there was another one. Wasn't
There was another one in between this one and that one, but
It was like
Was that one in
2016.
2011, or was that the Screen Actors Guild?
that was Screen Actors. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. They both have guild in the name, which is why I get confused.
Fair. But yeah, TV took a real nosedive in quality during that writer's strike. Because, guess what? Without actual skilled writers, good TV generally does not get made.
You say that, but House actually put on one of its best seasons.
I'm willing to wager that a lot of that stuff was already written before the strike
Probably,
happened.
yes. Almost certainly. I'm just, yeah, making the point. It wasn't all bad.
No, but
And it doesn't mean
there
that
was
we
some
still shouldn't, you know...
really bad shit on there.
And it still doesn't mean we shouldn't, you know, pay the writers what they're actually fucking worth and do.
Mm-hmm.
Because newsflash, you should be fucking paying people what they deserve.
Yep. A lot of rifts you gotta close.
Yeah, a lot of shit happened. Gonna be doing this a lot, considering finally at the level where not that much scares me.
Mm.
Not at this stage, anyway. I'm sure in the main quest we'll get some bullshit, but just wandering around, it's pretty much fine. I don't know where I'm going, and this looks like there's no real actual way past.
Oh, here's a question that just occurred to me because for some reason I associated what Let me walk you through my mental process.
Alright.
Jack's little humming thingy made me think of charging my attack, which made me think of banana phone, which for some reason made me think of Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Alright.
Okay.
Not something I'm
So
familiar
here's
with.
my question. Y'all ever watch a mockumentary that you thought was an actual documentary? Because I'm gonna be real,
Yes.
I was a babby when I watched Walk Hard, and I thought it was actually a documentary. Or a biopic, at least.
You mean a biopic?
A biopic, yes.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I did something extra embarrassing and thought that the mockumentary Dragons of Fantasy Made Real was an actual documentary when I was a kid.
Well, see, it's not as bad when you're a child.
I was like 10. I was like 11 or 12 at the time. I don't remember the exact year it came out, but I was an older child at the time.
I mean, I still believed in wrestling as a kid, so, yeah. I also didn't realize that a lot of these autobiographies were ghost-written.
Obviously.
Well, yeah.
I get it. Oh. I think I see how I get over there. Right. Well, I guess it was gonna happen sometime. Yeah, I think it was only when I actually, you know, started reading a couple of autobiographies that actually weren't ghostwritten. And they talked about, you know, turning down the ghostwriting process because it fucking sucked. Or they certainly didn't like that process.
Nobody likes ghostwriting. Or at least no one I know of.
Still say they could have, you know, made something a little less wooden for this bridge.
Well,
Anywho. I'm trying to remember, like, biopics or biopics or whatever. Whatever you want to call them. Not sure how
Or
many
just
I actually...
anything that was like a parody that you thought was real.
it's been a hot minute. So I was at that stage.
Alright. This is pointless. They're just gonna keep fucking reviving. Not off the top of my head can I remember anything like that. Again, as I said, wrestling, but that's about it. I've made some, you know, like, realizations where I feel like I've been quite dumb. Oh. Of course. Oh. Isn't that... Did I seriously hit the corpse with that move? Good thing is it's not running. Just sort of doing that every so often. Alright, Dorian. Scary thing's gone. Do your thing. Burn, baby, burn.
Like Cassandra Green.
Why is Cassandra green?
She was glowing green for a second there. Oh, there she is. She's glowing green again.
I think she might be poisoned. Fighting corpses, that's sort of happening. Alright, Dorian, we gotta find another body pit, because I have a feeling these are just gonna keep going.
Yep.
Actually. Considering they come to me, let's... I'm glad just hitting it will set it on fire. Not sure, you know, what the physics of that is. But, yeah.
Little vocab lesson for you, folks. When a boycott is not is not the same thing as a strike. A boycott is when people in the industry ask you to not support a product by not buying it, aka boycotting it. Meanwhile, crossing the picket line is when someone from an outside industry comes to work in the industry that is striking at the moment. And working during a strike is called scabbing. Both of the latter two will send you straight to hell.
Another thing to remember is boycotting is generally not effective at all, because consumers, for the most part, are not... Informed consumption is not really something that happens.
No, and there is no ethical consumption under capitalism, etc., etc. But yeah, boycotting is not nearly as effective as striking, so if someone asks you to boycott something, either they don't know what they're talking about, or they are very, very desperate.
See, the most recent game by... You know.
By who now?
You know. The
No,
recent game that a lot of people were like, hey, you shouldn't play this, and then people were like, but I'm gonna.
Oh, that. Yeah. Yeah, best thing you can do is just not play it and convince other people that it's shit. So why should they bother? But no, apparently some people think it's fun for some fucking reason. Can't imagine why.
Serious nostalgia bonus?
Probably.
I'm getting very angry at you. Are these more corpses that are rising, or are these just the corpses that rose and followed us? Because one is better than the other. No, I think they're all new corpses rising. I'm gonna head to this Citadel du Corbeau.
Oh no, it's
Well-
French.
That seems to be a not incredible sign.
Well, that's not good. Ooh.
What's that? That?
Oh, so here's the AI bit of the proposal. Regulate use of artificial intelligence on MBA-covered projects. AI can't write or rewrite literary material. Can't be used as source material, and NBA-covered material can't be used to train AI.
Ow,
And the producers, studios and producers rejected that.
Shocker.
What a bunch of fucking chuds. Absolute clowns.
On a slightly more positive note on writing, and this is something relevant to Dragon Age, how do you guys feel about
What do you mean?
fantasy worlds where some of the cultures are just fantasy versions of existing Earth cultures?
I don't mind it.
No, I
As
really
long
don't
as
mind it.
it's not necessarily bad in and of itself, so long as it's, tasteful and not like horrendously stereotypical.
True, but like, does it ever like make it harder to suspend disbelief or break immersion for you? Because I know it does
really.
occasionally do that for me. But I'm just like, wait a second, this is just a civilization that's already existed. Like, it's one of those things where it feels weird to me just because I can't seem to like ever, especially when it's not uniformly just alternate history Earth. It just becomes difficult for me to like tell what happened to make so much different but so much else the same.
Yeah, personally, I try not to use that too much in my writing. Only a little bit here and there, and part of it is just using it for cultures that would make sense reflecting real life cultures, like if they're based off, say, a mythical creature that is in a different part of a big culture. So like say if you're using, say, fairies, it would make sense to base them a little bit off of Celtic culture, for example. Just as an example. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from as well. I try not to do it too much in my writing outside of like using very broad aspects of a given culture as examples.
I get too lost in the weeds when world building, so it's sort of something I have to do a lot more.
It is a crutch, honestly.
Where's Cole? There. Head up, Cole. Right, so it's as I thought. They all died. So it should be them. Probably shouldn't have
That's
left this for
unfortunate.
so long.
Yeah.
It's fine. Nobody help. Maybe some of them did survive. That was a lot of noise. Sorry, I'm just gonna loot all these corpses. Hope none of these were your friends. All loot. Hi, Gate Guard.
Who's there? Don't come any closer. We have swords.
Fuck you, I got
We just
daggers.
killed a dozen demons. Is a little bow meant to intimidate us?
We are the Inquisition, and this is the Herald of Andraste.
The Herald of Andraste. Maker's breath. Forgive me. I should have known.
You really should have. How many, like, fucking huge Kunari are there? Just wandering around the nation.
Commander
Indeed.
in service of Her Imperial Majesty. Long may she reign. My men inform me that the Citadel's defenses are deactivated. I cannot thank you enough.
I found one of your soldiers at the eastern ramparts. She wanted you to have this.
Fabienne's ring. She is gone then. I hoped, I prayed that she yet lived. Thank you. I will make sure this gets to her family.
Tell me about the situation here.
There were orders. A chance for peace, they said. Pull back, they said. So we did. Then the undead appeared. We couldn't hold them back. I told my men to activate the fort's defenses. A foolish move, born of desperation. There was so much about the old elven magic we never knew. We couldn't
Yeah, it
control
nearly
We
charboiled me.
retreated, but not everyone made it through the gates. I couldn't save them. We've been trapped for weeks. Supplies were incoming, but who knows what happened to them.
Bye.
I must take my leave.
Good day, Inquisitor.
Don't, you know... Let me stop you from wallowing in your guilt. Now we've done this, so there's gonna still be, like, loads of undead. Really hope not. Would be inconvenient.
I can't believe this.
Also, Fuzzy, to return to your original point about, or original rant about, that was maybe not the brightest move, you know, body standards. It's why so many fucking, like, female characters have giant boobs.
Yeah, no, it's the same principle.
Mm-hmm. God fucking damn it, Onion.
What has it done now?
New Onion headline. Netflix condemns WGA strike for putting future show cancellations behind schedule.
Oh, I like that. It's good.
I mean, Hard Drive had that one that tricked, like, quite a few of us.
Yeah, no, because it would... Look, it says a lot about the times we live in that it's so easy for us to fall for these headlines, because some of these are really, really plausible.
What was the hard drive headline?
Well,
It was basically a listicle of future Chris Pratt films, and one of them I think was Religion Cop, about a Christian cop who gets canceled for shooting an unarmed person.
Unarmed teen.
Yeah, an unarmed teenager. But yeah, it's not an actual real thing that's in the works that we know of.
You know what's funny? If it would have been completely believable, even more so, if it had like just a bit more of a thought out name.
Yeah.
Which again is just sad to think about.
Yep.
Oh, it might be in there.
Yeah, I'm sure Gen will also like this meme. Excuse me. Speaking of Netflix, though, I know a lot of people have been putting out hot takes here and there about Netflix's cancellations of shit. This is definitely not aimed at anyone in particular, no siree. But I feel like Netflix's big problem is, just not being able to commit to, finishing stories. And just throwing out every single piece of shit out at the wall and seeing what sticks, rather than actually committing to writing a story beginning to end.
You can't actually even call it throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks, because even when things stick, they still cancel them.
That is true. A lot of stuff that's been moderately successful has been canceled because Netflix is full of jackasses.
Is Netflix just the Western fucking Weekly Shonen Jump now?
Kinda.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it kind of is.
Why do I get the feeling there's going to be a dragon here? Oh, because there is. There 100% is going to be a dragon here.
Good luck, that fucker.
Hopefully it won't be anywhere near where we're going.
So many eyes peering from underneath.
Yeah, honestly, I think half of it's just execs getting greedy and also just, like, everyone trying to run everything by fucking Wall Street standards. aka everything has to grow indefinitely forever and always. Which is just, not how anything works except for cancer.
I don't think even cancer grows indefinitely.
No, it just stops growing when it kills the host.
I mean, theoretically, it could grow indefinitely if you, like, put it in the right conditions, but yes,
What
that's
the fuck?
besides the point, I think.
Mm-hmm. It is fascinating, though. Here comes the boom. Ready or not, here comes the boom.
But yeah, not stopping until it kills its hosts. Sounds pretty like, you know,
Capitalism, yes.
I've seen so many people defend capitalism as like this big thing that needs to keep going. It's like there are alternatives to the current form of capitalism that we are dealing with.
I've since heard your order could have prevented it, but instead led the Templars into war once it started.
Yes, but those alternatives require an absence of human greed, and as we all know, human greed is the real cancer.
Final boss, yes. But Fuzzy, didn't you know? Because a movie said one time that greed is good, that means it's always good, right?
I know that's a joke, but it's depressing how many people do not consider that a joke and take it seriously.
Yeah, I know, it's really irritating.
Stupid suicidal gurguts. They just left me alone, they wouldn't have to die.
That's how it is with most goons in video games, I found.
Yeah. Also, there's the dragon. I'll go near that.
Dragon, dragon, rock the dragon, Dragon Ball Z.
Ugh, that smell.
Sorry!
Look, I get gassy when I'm nervous.
Now, Fuzzy, how many times have you played Inquisition before?
I've never played it through to the end, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I like... After a certain point, I kind of just, like, get tired of it.
I get that.
Oh, that's fair, I suppose.
Especially because I'm something of a pathological completionist. And this is not a very completionist-friendly game.
No.
No, definitely not. I mean, I've gotten close to completion on one run.
I don't think you've even played, Trespasser though, yeah.
I did play Trespasser.
Did you?
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh, I could have sworn you said you didn't.
That was a couple of years ago. I finished it, I think, last year.
Oh. Genuinely playing this on the, assumption that you hadn't done Trespasser.
Oh no, no, it wasn't last year. It was the year before. It was late 2021. I finished Trespasser, I believe.
Huh.
So how far did you get in before you dropping it then, Fuzzy?
I don't remember exactly. Like, I got to different... I had never finished it, but I did play... I do start multiple playthroughs, and I got different points each time. So I don't know. The last one was like pre-COVID, I think.
Huh? Damn.
So it has been a while.
Hmm. I think the last time well, it was my one replay of Inquisition, I think, and it was just after I'd finished high school and was part of my grand plan to do a full playthrough of all 3 Dragon Age games.
Huh.
Which was, you know, where I first had my plan to save Alistair's life.
How'd that work out?
It went well. He wasn't happy with me making him king, but, you know, it kept him alive, so he can suck it.
Yeah, the decision between Hawk and the Warden is a lot less difficult when you have Alistair as the other Alistair as an option off the table.
Mm-hmm. If it wouldn't piss Alistair off even more, I'd do it low gain so he can, you know, maybe die with some dignity, but no. Instead, he had to die in a trial that was first made a joke of by me wanting to use my dog as a champion. I mean, how dare Eamon suggest that my dog can be bribed? That's just rude. Especially considering I make sure to give him enough, you know, ham bones to cover any potential loyalty issues.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Everyone else gets paid. He might as well.
True, 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 true. True, 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 true.
You might think it's unnecessary them killing these poor creatures, but they're the best leather I've got access to right now.
You gotta get that leather. You gotta get that sweet leather jacket.
Like with many animals that have been hunted for a long time, if they didn't want that to happen, they shouldn't be so delicious. Or so useful.
I mean, dodos were neither delicious nor useful, and they were still hunted to extinction, so I don't think that's a reliable metric.
Yeah, but dodos were very unfortunate in that they were not accustomed to humans as predators.
They got evolutionarily complacent.
There weren't really any predators that were really interested in them at the time that I can recall of. Because
they got complacent.
I forget, what island were they on? Was it Madagascar, or was it some...
Mauritius.
What was it? Mauritius?
Mauritius, I think.
Okay.
They assumed that they would never be hunted by any predators. They then decided to try and make friends with the next bunch of predators they came across. I mourn their loss, but, you know, they didn't help themselves.
You know, you say that, but penguins are in a similar situation in that because they don't really have many land predators, they tend to just, like, approach humans of their own volition. They haven't been hunted to extinction yet.
Because
all we've done to penguins is screw them up with climate change.
Because they're very cute. Dodos didn't have that.
You know what? That really, you've struck on the heart of the issue.
Yeah, that's actually a conservational issue, because a lot of less quote-unquote charismatic species have a much harder time getting preservation efforts, conservation efforts for them funded.
Which is kind of really funny if you think about it.
Dodos looked as dumb as they were, and they died for it.
It's just really funny that shallowness is kind of built into the human species. Like, we're hard-coded for shallowness.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't even extend to our own species, it even extends to other species.
Yep. We are basic bitches like that.
I mean, talking about this reminds me of one of the funnier facts that I know, and sort of tragic, which is that the giant tortoise didn't get a scientific name for ages because it was too delicious, and they kept eating them on the way back to London.
Oh. That's fucked up.
They just couldn't stop.
That's just fucked up.
That's somehow not surprising to me. Also, it would be hypocritical of me to complain too much, because if I was on that ship, I would absolutely be eating that tortoise.
I don't like eating turtles.
Have you ever?
Nope.
Then how do you know you don't like it?
The concept doesn't vibe with me.
The concept vibed with Darwin.
Yeah, but Darwin's weird.
He did marry his cousin.
Yeah.
Case in point.
Yeah.
Well, which, funnily enough, you know what's funny? In grade 11 it was grade 12 biology, we did actually talk about that. And apparently, the genetic dangers of marrying your cousin for your offspring is not that much is like basically the same as the genetic dangers of having a child when you're like past 40. So apparently, even cousins are far removed enough that it's just like not as catastrophic as you'd think.
It's once you get to first-degree relations that it becomes a real issue. Or even second-degree relations. I believe cousins are third-degree relations.
No, I think cousins are second degree.
Well, no, because it's related through first your parent, then the parent sibling, then... So that's 3 degrees, isn't it? Or is that considered 2 degrees?
Okay, no, by that metric, yes. Yes, if your parents' siblings are second degree, then you're... Yes, okay, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a Japan joke to be made here somewhere.
Or an Alabama one.
Yeah, but like... We're weebs at heart, and so the Japan joke is more relevant.
I guess.
Japan.
But you know what's funny? Is, despite joking about the label of weeb, that's never applied to me in the sense that I don't really have any particular fondness for Japan. Like, as a nation or culture or institution.
Oh, what's that?
Well, it's not. I don't dislike it either. I'm kind of just like very neutral on it. I mean, there's parts I dislike, but there's parts of every institution I dislike. But I'm just kind of like the original meaning of weeb was someone who is so into Japan that they wish they were Japanese.
Oh yeah.
I think now it just kind of is thrown around as a word that means person who occasionally watches anime.
Yeah.
I feel like if you watched even a single non-mainstream anime or read a single manga, you're just automatically classified as a weeb now. Which is just like, as someone who likes... It is, and as someone who likes, like, classifications and things like that that make me dislike it even more, because it's just like, not only is it incredibly reductive, it's also just inaccurate. And I think it's the inaccuracy that rankles me more than the reductivity.
Mm.
Speaking of inaccurate,
Oh.
I've been thinking, and this kind of gets back into the sort of thoughtless consumerism thoughtless consumption, not consumerism, because those are actually two different things. It's funny to say, but yes, consumption and consumerism are kind of quite distinct. But thoughtless consumption is, but like it reminds me of that because here's the thing: people will gloss over inaccuracies in like important things in their media properties just because they don't want to think about it.
Yep.
Or they don't put that much thought into it. And I'm just like, and yet whenever people like, there's, again, it's part of that whole anti-intellectualist movement, but it's like, but well, I understand to a certain part because it's like that's where grammar Nazis come from. I saw the other day someone in the comment section of a web serial I was reading is they got mad and like actively made like comments on a media property because it used alright, ALRIGHT, which is apparently, according to them, not a real word.
Of course it's a real word. What? It's a real word. It's a real word. What the hell?
Yeah, as it turns out, it doesn't necessarily matter to people whether they're, like, correct.
I mean, it should.
Yeah,
well, obviously, just it doesn't, and that's depressing to me.
It really kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like things like that where like, for example, there's the whole I mean, there's an entire subreddit of it for this reason, r/men writing women, because
Oh boy.
so often, yeah, people just like write things about human biology that are just laughably inaccurate, and people are just like, just don't think about it. It's fine. It's just a work of fiction. I'm just like, why are we like this as a species?
Could not tell you.
There must be a better way. Please don't tell me there was actually a fucking path through that waterfall.
That would be so funny.
Walked away because it didn't look like there actually was. Spent the last 5 minutes jumping around looking for a fucking way over the mountain. Hey, buddy.
No sign of trouble.
Thank you. No, there's no way through. But there is apparently enemies in that direction. There's got to be a way over. Maybe it's up the other side that I ignored.
Hehehehe. So how much fuckery have you seen on men writing r/men writing women, Fuzzy? I guarantee. I know there's a lot, but what are your favorite bits?
So it's interesting because there is actually a one issue that does occasionally crop up on men writing women, and that issue is that it does occasionally make the mistake of conflating character with author. Which, like, I think the most egregious one I saw, though, again, I can understand where that level of frustration sort of comes from, but the single most egregious one I saw was one in which Sam Vimes's rant at the beginning of Guards was construed as sexism on Terry Pratchett's part, which is just like not really how that works. But
no, this is like introduced. Isn't this introducing Sam Vimes before he actually gets character development?
Yes, it's him literally at his lowest point, drunk in a gutter.
That's not really a good basis for. Wow. Yeah. No. That does seem like a bit of a.
That's like definitely the exception rather than the rule. Like, the vast majority of them do tend to be like incredibly valid criticisms. You know what's one of the most egregious offenders that I saw there, and it's funny because apparently the sheer number of people who like cite that person as their favorite author in I see this quite commonly in anime properties, but it also, funnily enough, happens in Western properties as well, wherein the intellectual character, quote unquote, they tend to cite their favorite novel as favorite novelist as Haruki Murakami.
Right.
And the sheer like volume of just grossness in his novels as like shown by r/men writing women is just ugh.
Right.
There's just like, I'm sure there are like positives, I guess, if that many people like it, but like I don't see how people can get over the whole issues. There's also a lot of Stephen King on there.
I'm not sure.
So here's the thing, and it's upsetting because like Stephen King is like, I want to like the dude.
He does have he does do some good things every now and then.
By all accounts, he seems like a pretty okay, like, guy, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, everyone likes to cite the prepubescent sewer orgy.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's a thing
that exists in the world, yes.
The fact that you can string those three words together and actually have it be something someone recognizes, yes.
So it's already awful that that's a thing. But the worst part is that that's not really an isolated incident in Stephen King's body of work.
I'm not shocked.
Like, there's also the idea that, like, a lot of the worst of his writing was done on cocaine binges, and, like, he literally has no memory of writing a lot of it. But that's, like, I think that might be more worrying in some ways.
I mean, on the one hand, it is a mind-altering substance, so...
Yeah, but on the other hand, it does bring out, like, your subconscious. But anyway, that's not what I'm trying to get into. The prepubescent sewer orgy, again, the grossness of those words cannot be overstated.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is sort of an isolated incident, but at the same time, it's like... It's isolated in that it's the most egregious example, not the only example.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just, like, kind of is wild to me that's... Because, like, he's not in terms of technical skill, he's probably one of the better authors out there.
He certainly has the most output.
Yeah, he's got that crazy blend of, like... He was, like, a web novelist before it was cool.
Mm.
Because, like, that's the level of output he's got, but, yeah, it's just... I don't know where it comes from, but there's definitely an undertone of just, like, over-sexualization in his works.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the way he describes younger girls sometimes is just very uncomfortable.
Mm. I mean, in some cases, I imagine it's at least intentionally off-putting, but in other cases, I think it might just be, like, him not doing a good job of, writing that part well. And also just, like, having some weird unconscious biases. And or being on drugs.
Well, yeah, as it turns out, he definitely has a marked difference in his writing pre and post the drugs. But even then, it's kind of just like it's just there's just this, like, general energy of and, like, it that really did make me realize that there's some pervasive issues in a lot of Jim Butcher's, well, in a lot of Dresden stuff that I feel like is perhaps more... It's like stuff that I perhaps did not pay enough attention to because I liked other parts of the series so much.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of the sexist issues with Dresden aren't really issues in Codex Solera, or to my recollection in the Cinderspire. So I think it might just be the baked-in elements of the Dresden Files, and Harry specifically.
Yes and no. There are some, like, occasional yikes-adjacent moments in Alera, and also just, like, the prevalence of, a sexual assault as a weapon.
Yeah. Though, in fairness, that was pretty much exclusively a villainous tactic.
Well, yes, but still, it's just like... I like, you don't have to put your head in the sand, but you also don't have to necessarily be so graphic with depictions and descriptions, right? Like, you can allude to something, and this is how I really like how I basically like. I may know bones about the fact that like that's kind of not something I'm comfortable with, like and as a result, it's something I tend to avoid even in fiction. But I don't know, I just kind of feel like you can have serious, heavy topics in your work without being, like, too graphic about them, which I feel like is something a lot of authors just fail at outright.
Sorry, I got tired of fucking searching for these on my own, so now I'm getting a guide's help.
It's fine. I feel that the gameplay isn't really... I mean, like, you know what? Here's another landmine. Since we've seems to have decided that today is like the day for just landmines of topics. Here's another one, which really shouldn't be a landmine, but is because, again, the boundless stupidity of the human species. Accessibility issues in games.
Yeah.
And how apparently accessibility is a bad thing, according to the quote-unquote real gamers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. These are the people that hate anything that isn't focused solely on them. They're the same people who will complain about, you know, people of color in their games, who will complain about LGBTQ people in their games, who will complain about, you know, female characters that they can't bang in games.
Yeah.
Okay, so that last one is... I'm like, if it's a game with dating sim elements, you should be able to bang everyone, female and male, as long as they're a consenting adult, but, like, that's a different conversation, I think. We've had that conversation before, I believe, yes.
Probably.
Almost certainly.
But yeah, what I was getting at was, like, I feel that there definitely should be more options to just be able to skip certain elements in games that are not just like... Okay, let me phrase this in the most incendiary way possible and see what happens. I think that time is an accessibility issue.
Hard to disagree with you on that.
In the sense that I feel that games should have an option to just decrease the amount of, like, tedious or mindless things.
Oh, like the grinding?
The grind, yes, because I feel that time is an accessibility issue.
It is.
It's just, I'm glad that's not a controversial take, but I do really feel like too many games don't value the player's time enough.
Yeah.
And it can be a real problem because some people just can't afford to spend as much time on games as they'd want to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably got this one then. Right, it's probably that one. I mean, yeah. I mean, I've had whatchamacallit, fucking God of War Ragnarok since Christmas, and I just haven't had a chance to play it, really. Though, to be fair, that's also due to the fact that I am currently in my parents' house, and therefore, you know, can't have the sound on played. But I'm still not sure entirely, you know, how much time I would have to do that.
Yeah, time is a resource, and inherently resources are accessibility issues. It's a bit of a roundabout way of saying it, but, like, I do believe it's true.
Demons are coming closer.
Then put a stop to them. Stop whining, you damn Orlesian.
See, for a second there, it sounded like you were talking to me.
No,
and
no,
I was
not
just
you.
like...
Not you. I'm talking to the Orlesians.
I know, but, like, it's just... It would have been funny if you were talking to me.
Those damn whining, surrendering Orlesians. Who definitely aren't, you know, related to any real-world cultures. No siree.
I mean, they're why I brought up the real-world culture Okay, as an extension of that real-world culture conversation, I agree it's a crutch, but let me give an example of where and why I rely on it as a crutch.
A long time to die.
I tend to rely on it most for the purpose of language.
Right.
Because not everyone is like Grandpa Tolkien, who can, like, just make up a language on the fly.
No. Absolutely
Before
not.
breakfast. And at the same time, I want my names and phrases and things like that to actually mean something.
Yeah.
Right? I don't like it when they're just like... Characters just have a name that isn't really relevant in any other way. So, I could just make up a word and claim that it means the name I'm talking about, but I'm sure you see the problem with that. So I basically have come to the conclusion that I'm going to have to borrow language for naming, and that kind of just leads to borrowing other things for naming, like like their general culture, because like it is just because of how intricately linked language is with culture. And that's another thing I feel like people like underestimate the impact of, is that language and culture are sort of inherently linked in ways that are not necessarily apparent at first glance.
That is true.
So it's just one of those things where it's hard to find where the line is.
Yeah.
If you get my meaning, it's just like
Yep.
it's difficult to determine when is a good time to draw the line at how much you're borrowing. Because, like, I think it's an established fact that it's not possible, really, to write a work of fiction without heavily borrowing from the real world and real life in general.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Because, like, at the end of the day, you do still have to relate it back to the real world. Because that's how relatability works.
Yeah, almost no one's going to ask you to write an entire work of fiction in an original language just to make it feel extra immersive. That'd be a really fucking big ask, not gonna lie.
See, I like that you said almost no one, because there definitely are people who would.
Yeah, I did add that almost in there because I know there are those guys that exist. Because, you know, those fucking people.
Do you think that... Are there actually people who you think are, like, have asked for Lord of the Rings in full Elven?
Yes.
I would not be shocked.
No. They're like just outright are. Yes.
Again, shocker to no one. Yeah, what should I call it? I'm pretty sure Duolingo offers Elven as a language.
They also
double
offer Klingon, I believe.
Yeah, they offer Klingon and Valyrian, I believe, as well. Let me see what languages they offer besides that. Okay, so besides actual real-world languages, Esperanto, I believe, is a...
It's a conlang. It's like
Conlang.
It's more of a. It's definitely people who. I feel like there's just a culture around Esperanto where people are like, if you say that it's not a real language, there are people who get upset.
Yeah, no, I get that. But yeah, they all, in terms of actual fictional languages, they offer Klingon and High Valyrian. They also offer Latin.
Ah, yes, Latin, one of the most fictional of languages.
Well, it's a dead language, so...
Is it? I feel like we can't really call Latin a dead language.
I mean,
There's,
if it's
like,
not
too many-
dead, it's very,
what-
very
what's
zombified.
What is the, like, definition of dead language? Like...
Last I checked, it's a language that's no longer in active usage by a living culture.
I feel like that's an overly reductive definition.
Let me look up what a dead language is, then.
No, I think that is the definition. I just don't. I think that the definition as it exists is overly reductive.
A language which is no longer in everyday spoken use, such as Latin. That's directly from the Oxford Dictionary.
To me, I feel like in that case, there needs to be a distinction between dead languages and, like, lost languages, I suppose.
Those would be extinct languages.
Yeah,
Whereas a
because
dead
that
language
distinction
is
is
a
important.
dormant. Yeah. So an extinct language is a language that no longer has any speakers, especially if there are no living descendants. In contrast, a dead language is one that is no longer the native language of any community, even if it is still in use. And a dormant language is a dead language that still serves as a symbol of an ethnic identity to a particular group. So there are a lot of extinct languages, especially like a lot of Native American languages and Polynesian languages, as well as a few African languages. But yeah. Latin is a dead language, but it's not exactly an extinct language, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense now, but it is one of those things that it's important
It's a
to have that
semantic thing, yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily like I don't think you can fairly call it semantic because it is relevant to. It does have real life relevance.
Yeah, it's actually kind of relevant to recent events because I think it was not too long ago. I think it was last month. The man in the hole died, who was the last speaker of a very specific tribal language. I think in Brazil, because his whole tribe got wiped out several decades ago, and he was the last survivor, and he just basically acted as a nomad for the past several decades. And no one really could communicate him because no one knew his language, and he didn't know any other language that we know of. So honestly, kind of tragic.
You heard? Evelyn took off last night. Said she was joining the Freemen. The demons are coming closer.
Do you need to eat, Cole? Or sleep?
I thought I had to, but I don't. The old songs control me.
That's something. I don't know what, but it's something. What about when you're injured? Why do you bleed? Is it because you think you have to?
Is that why
Tell me something.
Well,
Do you bleed?
you have me there.
The demons are gone? Thank the Maker. Perhaps now we'll be able to get word out.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing to contemplate dead languages sometimes.
I mean, just to contemplate all the knowledge that has potentially been lost just because of, fucking assholes
If you ask
burning it.
any history major about their thoughts on the Library of Alexandria, expect tears or rage.
I'm not gonna cry about it. It's just, a massive disappointment.
Okay, not any history major, but a lot of history majors are very salty still to this day about the Library of Alexandria getting burnt down.
To be fair, that also may be because I'm not, an ancient historian.
Yeah, I know. OSP's Blue is very salty about the Library of Alexandria, and he was a classics studier.
Yeah, then he would be. I'm modern history, so I get to grumble at the amount of redacted documents.
Which in many ways is just...
It's kind of
burning
worse,
down-
honestly.
I hate waiting to die.
Then just die, you stupid Orlesian. God.
Die, motherfucker, die, 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 motherfucker, die, die, motherfucker,
Stop
die.
bitching about getting tired waiting to die. Maybe try not dying. Have you thought about that?
You better get ready to die.
is there just a platform there?
Don't know.
Why are there not stairs? Were the stairs
Could not tell you.
destroyed? Why have you not rebuilt the stairs instead of just standing here? And it's not even in here, it's underground. Fucking all lesions. That stupid rampart.
Yeah.
Demons are coming closer.
Then deal with them! Stop bitching about how they're getting closer. Yeah. Still in your book. Andraste told me I had to steal your book.
Tired of waiting around.
It was only a fucking map, of course it was. God damn it.
It
Stupid
used to be
Ole.
entire bitch.
Stupid fucking Ole.
I can tell you're having a fun time, Mel.
There's a reason why I like doing this stuff off screen while I've got something playing.
Understandable, to be honest.
Because, like, it means I don't have to pay any attention whatsoever.
Nothing to report, sir.
Good.
Oh, but you do, Mel. You do.
I mean, I do to a certain extent. I mean, not like a mobile game I've got on my phone, where I've gotten to the point of playing it that I can literally, like, watch subbed anime while playing it.
Oh yeah, that's how it is with most mobile games, honestly.
Reinforcements.
To think they swore themselves to the
Mobile games are very easy to play while you have something else going on if you're like watching something.
Yeah. What the fuck do you think you're running to?
What are you running?
One down.
All of them down. Learn to count.
Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha.
I will say I do believe I have to bounce now.
Alright.
Right. Have a good one, Fuzzy.
Yeah. See you later.
See ya.
See ya.
You know what? I'm gonna hand this quest in, and then I'm gonna go and start talking to companions, because we're in the last 20 minutes of the stream.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Well met, your worship.
Dude's dead.
I found Butcher's corpse by the South Road. Red Templars ambushed me afterward.
Only our highest operatives knew he was coming tonight. I must inform Sister Nightingale we have a traitor.
Alright.
I should be going.
Bye.
Farewell.
I should go. I should go. I should go.
Oh, by the way, I watched Saturday's Yamada-kun. Wow.
Yep.
That was...
Yep.
That was a decision.
What specifically?
I mean, just the... You know... To be fair, the general seriousness it treated, like, setting up, a girl with some creepy gamer dude.
Yeah.
Hey, Varric. How you doing?
I knew Stroud, you know, not well. He led the Wardens near Kirkwall. Not many people knew who he was, but the man was a hero when it mattered. He wasn't the first good man to fall to Corypheus. He won't be the last. This story's no good for heroes.
At least Hawk survived.
You must be glad that Hawk made it back.
Yeah,
in
greatly approved.
Closest
Don't know how
thing I've
that
ever
happened.
seen
It says
from
slightly
him.
approves.
Hawk asked me to tell everyone back in Kirkwall where he's going. Baker's breath. Isabella's going to be furious. I'd better write some letters. Excuse me.
Bye, Varric. Oh, actually, tell you what we can do. Apparently I have some stuff to do in Val Royale.
Oh, yes, visit the dude.
Well, that's changed.
Varric did not have a fun time with the Fade.
No. Well, he was the first one out of the hat, so...
Rip.
And then... Blackwall. Oops. My bad. Yeah, apparently we've got a Dorian quest here.
Interesting.
I think it's Magister's Birthright. Think. Aha, yes. Hi, Ponchard de Lieu.
Inquisitor. Good, good. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
This...
What? Is that why we're here? How do you even know about the amulet? I hope you aren't intending to help me get it back. I can do this myself.
I apologize, but that won't be possible. Do forgive me, Inquisitor. But when I heard of your association with Monsieur Pavas, I could not...
Monsieur.
You see, the young man sold me a rather valuable amulet many months ago. Then he returned, asking to buy it back. Why would I simply sell it? Not only is it useful, there are others who could offer much more.
You loathsome little cretin. That's why you were so stubborn.
There is no need for insults, monsieur. I am
Yes, there is.
only in doing good business.
There's always a need for insults.
You refused to sell Dorian his amulet, just to get me here. Mission accomplished.
I am not attempting to manipulate you, my lord. I only wish equitable recompense. The Ligue de Celestine is an organization of wealthy noblemen in Orlais. I would join, but I lack the lineage. If someone like you applied pressure, they would admit me. That would be worth the return of the amulet.
Don't trust him. Yeah, ask Dorian what he wants, actually. That's a good idea.
What do you think, Dorian?
Leave the man be. I got myself into this. I should get myself out of it.
Perhaps you should accept your friend's help, monsieur.
Kafas, I know what you think, and he's not my friend. He's... Never mind what he is.
As you desire. Even so, that is the price. I shall accept no other.
What you looking at?
Look, we've got three options. Killing Ponchard is the one we cannot do. That ends the romance with Dorian.
Alright.
So that's not happening. We can help him.
Of course.
And doing so requires us to... is required to further the relationship because we need the amulet. Or we can intimidate him. The issue is, intimidating is obviously a lot easier, especially considering we're a Kunari. But it does mean Dorian slightly disapproves. That said, I think we're just gonna.
Are you sure you?
I believe we're just gonna get a Dorian Greatly Approves anyway.
So the question is, do you want to gamble that, or do you want to just go for the surefire option?
Surefire.
Perhaps you should take a moment to think about your position.
Forgive me, your worship. If it is your desire, I will have the amulet delivered to Skyhold immediately. Please, just think of me kindly. I meant no offense.
I'd feel badly for the fellow if he wasn't a toad.
Indeed. So, now's the fun time.
Oh my.
Yeah, we'll be going back to Val Royale because I want to go see Golden Nug Guy. Just to check.
Here it is.
Now I'm indebted to you. I never wanted this, I told you.
Why should there be a debt? I only had to glare at the man after all.
Of course you did. The Inquisitor snaps his fingers and people tremble.
Now you're just being difficult.
Someone intelligent would cozy up to the Inquisitor if they could. It'd be foolish not to. He can open doors, get you whatever you want, shower you with gifts and power. That's what they'll say. I'm the Magister who's using you.
Is that all? Go ahead and use me, Dorian. Or are you all
Do it.
talk?
Do it, soundboard.
Oh, you are glorious.
Oh yeah.
I am apparently an incredible ass at accepting gifts. I apologize and thank you.
Cuts away just when it gets the good stuff. That's unfortunate.
I'm going to stop before I say something syrupy, but I won't forget this, and I will repay you. Count on it.
You have remarkably little here on early to Vinter history. All these gifts to the Inquisition, and the best they can do is the Malefica Imperio. Trite propaganda. But if you want 20 volumes on whether Divine Galatea took a shit on Sunday, this is evidently the place to find it.
Let me see. Where is... regarding Felix... Ah, here we go. Ah, good.
That's the Dorian I know, critiquing every book in my library.
I wouldn't have to if you could find some rebellious heretic archivist to join the cause.
Are there rebellious archivists?
I'll do my best, but...
If Corypheus ever starts burning masterworks of literature, I'm sure a few will pop up. Did I see something by Genitivi here? I could have sworn.
What is this about, Dorian?
When we fell into the chasm, into the Fade, I thought you were done for. I don't know if I can forgive you for that moment.
I'm sorry you had to go through it with me.
I'm not sorry I was there with you. I thought I'd lost you. You sent me ahead and then didn't follow. For just a moment, I was certain you wouldn't. I thought, this is it. This is where I finally lose him forever. Are you... all right?
Can't do that one. That one gets disapproval. So...
Well, what do the other ones do?
Nothing. Some jack shit.
Some total fucking all.
Yep.
So how do you want to purchase then? You want to be emotional or you want to be intellectual?
Look, I'm going to be brutally honest. I don't give a shit about Stroud.
It was like walking in a nightmare, but everything was real. I couldn't...
Ah. It's as I thought. The Fade is an ordeal under normal circumstances. To be the only real thing there, beyond description. That any of us made it out alive is difficult to believe. That you made it out, a miracle. You do realize this feat hasn't been performed in over 1,000 years. Corypheus and his contemporaries entered the Fade and began the Blights. In comparison.
At least you were at my side.
No offense, but I'd almost rather I hadn't been.
No sense of adventure. That's surprising.
I've not your talent for survival. And not everyone is as discerning as I. If you can walk in the Fade, others will try to follow. Who knows what secrets Corypheus has revealed? Not all of them will be as lucky as you. What they could unleash. My advice? Keep this quiet. Let them speculate. Too many will see this as a challenge.
That's a good idea.
There are enough idiots in the world who think if they just use enough blood magic, their problems will vanish. It's exactly the sort of thing I want to stop back home. This I don't need. What I do need is a copy of the Liberalum. I'll wager I can find Corypheus' real name. If I can prove he was a grasping ankle-biter with no family to speak of, the luster would come right off. Wish me luck.
Will do.
Good luck, bro.
There. Right, let's go talk to Bull. Fuck you. You know, quickly. Hey, Bull.
Again.
Oh, hey, Cassandra.
Come on. This is why the Qun doesn't like women fighting. I should have asked Cullen.
Oh, that's asked for it.
Oh!
Perhaps you can take over.
Gunari training exercise to master your fear. Been a while since I needed it, but that nightmare demon was... big.
Alright.
All right. There we go. Oh, yeah. Damn demon. Who's stuck in the Fade, huh? That nightmare wanted to tear you in half. Not a chance. Piece of Fade, piece of crap. And who killed you? That's right. Iron fucking Bull.
This is another reason I wanted Bull to be there.
I needed that. Thanks, boss.
Man, it is a shame because the romance option for this dialogue is fucking great. You like it rough?
Yeah, that's funny.
For you? Yep. All right then.
Well, that was simple. We should probably talk to Cassandra. It's been a while.
Writing does not come naturally to me, as I'm certain you can imagine.
Give me a second. I have not opened Cassandra's. Where is she? There. Got so many fucking Dragon Age wiki tabs open right now. I need to close some of them.
Probably a good idea.
Haven only. Haven only. Haven only. Writing.
Trying to outdo Varric's next literary masterpiece?
I haven't his talent for blather. As if written by a dim-witted child. Historians will one day ask what happened at Adamant Fortress, in the Fade. I wasn't there, but others were. Their accounts must be recorded.
That's an excellent idea, Cassandra.
I certainly thought so, until I started writing. I still don't know what to say about the spirit of the divine. The Chantry teaches us that the souls of the dead pass through the Fade, so it could have been her. Yet even so...
I don't have an option for this, and I worry about the divine election.
Well, you've already put a lot of points into Leliana as it is. I would say the safe option is the bottom left.
Yeah.
I don't know the truth any more than you do.
Sadly, unanswered questions make for poor reading. When they told me you were physically in the Fade, I was terrified for you. The last time such a thing happened, we created Darkspawn. We created Corypheus. The world needs to know the truth this time. No more legends lost to the ages.
Keeping written records is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Anyone who says otherwise is a goddamn moron.
Let's just do this again. No?
Something in particular you require?
I don't know. Something in particular you require. Let's go for the safe option.
I see I'm intruding. I'll be on my way.
No, wait. We saw so many Red Templars at the assault on Haven. Perhaps
this
those
one,
that
that's
are
what this
left
one's
of the
about.
Order. What we didn't see was Lord Seeker Lucius. Indeed, I've seen no hint of any Seekers amongst the Red Templars, or anywhere. I have a growing suspicion Corypheus has imprisoned them.
Finding them obviously means a lot to you.
I don't expect you to understand. I cannot even claim that rescuing them would be beneficial. They wouldn't look kindly on the Inquisition. But even so, if there's a chance...
I hope I haven't missed what I'm looking
If we can spare
for.
resources to follow up on these leads, Inquisitor, I would appreciate it.
Oh, damn it. Making me go all the way back to you. That's just a little annoying.
It is what it is.
Who's that, Varric?
I wonder. We can talk about that next stream.
Damn it, Cassandra, making me go all this way.
I understand if resources cannot be spared. Still, it could involve a threat we are unaware of. There may be a use in looking.
I think I may have waited too long.
How so?
Because there's a certain one with Varric.
Oh yeah, because of Hawk, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for me?
Now that the Grey Warden threat is dealt with, we must investigate the assassination plot. One can only hope it's not too late. More chaos in Olay only helps Corypheus.
That's enough for now.
I'm gonna
As you
try
wish.
something. Save.
So you're saving the game and then you're going to go back in time.
Yeah. Oops. How far back do I think I need to go? Let's try here. Do I really want to see that scene, damn it?
Understandable, to be honest.
Right, this might actually be a good time. Might have to go through one of Cassandra's things again. This could be half decent. Hey, Varric.
Worship.
Up.
Stop!
There's Bull. Haven't talked to him yet.
The spiderwebs help stop the bleeding, and they prevent wounds from getting infected.
Hi, Cassandra. Here we go.
You knew where Hawk was all along!
You're damned right I did.
You conniving little shit!
You kidnapped me. You interrogated me. What did you expect?
Hey, enough!
You're taking his side?
I said enough!
We needed someone to lead this Inquisition. First, Liliana and I searched for the hero of Ferelden, but he had vanished. Then we looked for Hawk, but he was gone too. We thought it all connected, but no. It was just you. You kept him from us.
The Inquisition has a leader.
Hawk would have been at the Conclave if anyone could have saved Most Holy.
To be fair, this doesn't matter in terms of, you know, approval or disapproval.
Varric's not responsible for what happened at the Conclave.
I was protecting my friend.
Varric is a liar, Inquisitor. A snake. Even after the Conclave, when we needed Hawk most, Varric kept him secret.
He's with us now. We're on the same side.
We all know whose side you're on, Varric. It will never be the Inquisition's.
Attacking him now won't help us, Cassandra.
Ha! Exactly.
And you better not be keeping anything else from us.
I understand.
I must not think of what could have been. We have so much at stake. Go, Varric. Just go.
You know what I think? If Hawk had been at the temple, he'd be dead too. You people have done enough to him.
This line would hit a lot. Would be even harsher if Hawk dies in the Fade.
And I swallowed it. If I just explained what was at stake, if I just made him understand. But I didn't, did I? I didn't explain why we needed Hawk. I'm such a fool.
Have you looked at our Inquisition, Cassandra? We're all fools here.
Is that supposed to make me feel better?
More at home, maybe.
I want you to know, I have no regrets. Maybe if we'd found Hawk or the hero of Ferelden, The Maker wouldn't have needed to send you, but he did. You're not what I'd pictured. But if I've learned anything, it's that I know less than nothing.
Alright, we're going to end it there. Okay, thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed. In terms of future stuff, Thursday, we should be doing Falcon and the Winter Soldier for the Paradox Hour.
Yup.
Starting a little later, as we have been on Thursdays. Maybe not quite so late, but we'll see. Saturday, probably more of this, to be brutally honest. Unless we can figure out something else, but I don't see that happening. Sunday, should be back to D&D.
Woo-woo!
Certainly can't think of any reasons at this point in time, but obviously we will let you know if something does come up. And next Tuesday, hopefully Jack should be well enough by then, and we can return to Arcade Spirits.
Woohoo!
Otherwise, again, thank you everybody for watching. Please do give us a follow here on Twitch and on Twitter at Storytime_net. And otherwise, we hope to see you on Thursday for some Paradox Hour, talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier. Good night.
Later.